and Facebook.
I got nothing yet.
YouTube is live, Twitter is live. I'm getting some slowdown from my camera. My Facebook is live. Twitch is the last to join the party, but it's working on it. Ironically, the most important one. Great time for great time for Discord to crash.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't get any better. Like, oh, you're going live? Nah, you ain't. However, all that being said, we're live on all those platforms, and aside from the immediate crash of Discord, it's running okay now.
Okay, cool.
Which not much I can do other than not use this laptop, but it really works better when it's not crashing, at least. So,
Fair
hello
enough.
nobody that is watching us, but hello those who may or may not watch us in the future. We're gonna play some Marble Champions on Tabletop Simulator tonight.
Gonna be a good time.
It absolutely would be a good time. It's I think my going live alerts are coming through. Um, Obviously you're all pro at this game. I am not. I'm still learning it.
I've played a few games.
I have not. I've played a game and literally a game.
Well, we're gonna double the amount of games you played tonight.
Those are large, large facts.
So we're just gonna grab starter decks and go, kind of like we did last time.
Yeah, I think what's best for me, you can probably not at this juncture because it'll take a bunch of time, but build your own deck. Obviously, for
I've got some
me,
built.
as I learn to play, I mean, if you want to spawn it in, go for it. But as I learn to play, I think it's going to be easier just for me to grab a starter deck of a hero.
So I have three decks that I can't play with. They're gonna be for the RNA live stream at some point. I have one. If you're gonna play Thor, it's not gonna mash well with that, so I'll probably just grab a starter and play. Um,
I
I
am going to
guess.
grab Thor because it is the deck that I bought. It will be the one that I learn the game with, probably.
So we did Rhino last time. You want to do Claw, Sam?
I mean, if it's conceivable to do, sure.
It's a starter box villain. I mean,
Oh yeah, it doesn't bother. We can do whatever you think's best, even if that's doing Rhino again. That doesn't bother me in the least bit.
well, you would have a little bit more of a comfortability with Rhino, I'd say. Um,
I'm sure, yeah.
um, Claw is dual. So basically, there's three villains in the starter box. There's Rhino, Claw, Ultron, and they progress in difficulty level. I would feel a little better about Claw if I had built my own deck instead of just playing a starter deck. So why don't we just do Rhino?
We can do Rhino again. That's fine.
So in the standard difficulty set. And we will put in the Masters of Evil to make him a little harder than he was last time, but not much harder. So we got that.
Wait, so you threw in the what now? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
So when you build a villain deck,
Right.
when you click over here, it just puts like Rhino's villain cards in.
Mm-hmm.
Under difficulty here, if you're playing on hard mode, you hit expert. Otherwise, you hit standard. That puts the standard encounter set in the villain deck.
Gotcha.
Then you always pick a modular encounter to add to it, and I put the Masters of Evil in. So they're basically it'll be good because you're playing Thor too. It's just some chunky minions that'll pop out, like Whirlwind, Radioactive Man, shit like that.
Okay.
All right. So then we need to get our obligations out. Who am I gonna play? That's probably what I need to do first is decide who I'm gonna play. So you're Thor, your aggression. I played Scarlet Witch last time.
You did. I did order
Um,
Scarlet Witch too. For those watching, which is one, which I think just happens to be you right now.
mhm.
Again, the thing to remember about Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. So I go live on 4 platforms when I do this: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. The Facebook is my personal Facebook because Restream, the program I use to do this, wants you to subscribe to push it to a Facebook page instead of a like an act. So I have the Pillage Gaming Facebook page, but it's like connected to my account. But in order to stream to that, they Restream wants you to pay for that, and I'm not going to do that. So I just pushed it to mine because whatever, right? So like on Facebook, it'll be there theoretically forever. Twitter forever. YouTube, I think it holds for 2 weeks. Twitch, it'll hold for 2 weeks. So even if nobody watches it now, if they go look it up, it'll be there for 2 weeks. Twitch, you can save it for longer if you liked the stream. I could select like something like 8 streams to save, and they'll be there until I tell that not to save. So a lot of times I'll talk as if there's somebody watching us, and there's not. There could be. They're just not in this moment.
Right.
So those that may or may not watch us in the future, Tabletop Simulator obviously does a lot of the gameplay for us, builds the decks for us, builds these encounters for us. This is just a card game. If you're unfamiliar with it, I highly suggest checking out Rich's channel on his podcast, where he
Yeah.
talks about this game, which is where I learned about it.
Yeah,
But
it's good stuff.
you can learn a lot about the the core gameplay of it through them. You get a little introduction. This game just beautifies it up a little bit, makes it very easy for us to play. 10 states away or whatever it is that we are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very convenient that way. All that being said, I'm still learning to play the game. I do own the game, the physical version of the game, as obviously does Rich. And yeah, so the learning curve's not that steep. I've pretty much got a grasp on it, but we will
Yeah,
we'll
I
learn
think
more
like
tonight.
maybe 3 turns in, the first time we played, you pretty much had the pattern down. So I need to decide who I'm gonna play. Um, man, part of me wants to throw Cap on the table. Part of me wants to throw Black Panther on the table.
So I mean, there's a lot of here. So while you're deciding that, and this may distract you, oh, I like the random. That's a nice touch. So you got Spider Woman.
Well, she is one of my favorite heroes, so
So with this is a tabletop simulator thing. With that bag, it's gonna pull out each element individually. I think if you would have hit that constructed, it would have pulled out all of it. But you
yeah, I
might.
think so.
I
What I'm
don't
gonna
know.
do is I'm just gonna toss this and just click on her constructed deck now that
There you go.
well,
That makes sense.
starter deck. Constructed is just built. So let me just. So this is a red
Oh,
yellow deck.
I think I actually did the wrong thing. I think I did constructed instead of starter.
Yeah, because you only got 15 here. That's easy enough to fix. That's the 40 card deck.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just toss this. So, with this, when I got the Thor set, it came with What looks to be like Loki was in there, and looks like some scenario cards maybe.
Yeah, so we totally forgot to put that stuff in the first time we played. And that's because I didn't know where it was. I assumed it auto put it in the deck and it did not. So we
Okay.
never saw it. So you're gonna have an obligation. I'm looking for your cards right now. So if you flip this guy over, if you just want to alt that card and read it, this will go in the deck and it can pop out on us.
Okay. Yeah, I did see
Um,
this with the deck that I bought. So you may flip to alter ego form, choose exhaust, exhaust Odin. I put both those words together. Exhaust Odin's Son, remove Odin's anger from the game, or discard Mjolnir from your hand. From play, you're stunned. Discard this obligation. So basically, I need to get rid of this card somehow, and those are my two options.
yeah, so when it pops out, like if I get a when we get our encounter cards, like if I get a card and it's that one, I hand it to you and you resolve it.
Exhaust Odin's Son, or get rid of Mjolnir. I mean, that's not terrible.
And then I'm gonna put this Loki deck right here. These do not go in the encounter deck to start with. There's a specific card that will call for it, called Strangers of the Past. Let me just pull that out so you can see it. This guy. You want to alt on this guy.
When revealed, reveal your set aside Nemesis minion, put it into play, engage with you. Reveal your set aside Nemesis side scheme, put it into play, shuffle the rest of your set aside Nemesis encounter set into the encounter deck. If your Nemesis does not enter the game this way, this card gains Surge.
So what that means is, if, for example, if we were fighting the Loki villain encounter, your Loki can't pop out. Like there's just the one Loki. And there's a few instances. So like Ant-Man's nemesis is Ultron. There's an Ultron encounter. So under that circumstance, he wouldn't pop out. You still would put the side scheme and the other cards in. You just also have to reveal another encounter card. So basically, if that card pops out on us, like on me, I would put her into play, engage with me, and then we would put this side scheme into play and shuffle the other three cards into the deck.
Right.
So that's why Strangers of the Past is pretty universally considered like the worst treachery card you can pull, because it puts you need like threat control plus like more damage. So it just puts a lot on the table. It keeps the board state more in the villain's favor. But
I
we
got
forgot
you.
to do that last time, so hopefully we won't have to deal with it. So I've
Right.
got our obligations in here. I'm gonna shuffle that up. Shuffle my deck up good.
So obviously with that, um, is that like a common house rule thing if you don't want to play with the Nemesis?
Uh, no, like it adds good gameplay. Like it's always a threat there, and there are cards in the available pool that let you kind of remove things. So there's an ally in protection that just came out. She's a 2-cost ally. She's 1 attack, 1 thwart. When you play her, you get to search the encounter deck for a treachery and put it in the treachery discard, and it is always Shadows of the Past.
Right. Okay.
Um, so also, since we've played last, I've discovered all these buttons here do. So take the lead, as you know, passes the first player token.
Right.
Ready readies you. I'm hit will discard a random card from your hand, so certain triggers will make that happen. Lookout will deal you the encounter card, and I'm pretty sure the red X gets rid of everything.
Right. Okay.
Or does nothing, I don't know. But that's what the other 4 do. Um, so shuffle. So my hand size is just going to do a 6, so we will bloop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, can you switch your team to spades? And we'll be able to see each other's hands.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And keep in mind, being my second time playing, you will probably still need to walk me through stuff because I will forget.
No, yeah, for sure. Biggest thing to remember is you remember the order, like first player goes, next player goes, then we ready, discard anything we don't want, draw back up to hand size, and hand size is based on which form you're in. So I am 6 as Jessica Drew, but as Spider Woman I'm 5.
Right. And I'm 5 and 4. Real quick, can you make me
Give you
give me some
admin.
admin? Yeah. So they have these player phase and villain phase reference cards over here, which come with the game, which are nice, but they lock them. So I would like to unlock them and then copy one and drop it.
You are promoted.
Where did it drop at? Control C, Control V. I would like to have these here just for my reference. Easier for me to look at. Okay.
All right. So let me look at my hand. We'll keep that. We'll keep that for that's a definite play. I cannot imagine needing this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pitch that guy. Um, not gonna be able to play that. So I gotta play that. That's 2 cards. I want to play that. I want to play that. So yeah, we'll just draw 1. Okay. Did you want to mulligan anything out of your hand and draw back up?
I forgot about the mulligan rule.
You can discard any amount of cards from your hand and draw back up. So like if you get Mjolnir, you might as well discard it because you're gonna get to search your discard and deck for it as your hero action or as your alter ego action.
Right. I actually did not get Mjolnir. I did get Asgard, which would be nice to get out early if I can.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid turn 1 play. Why can I not see there? Okay, there's your hand. I can see it now. I'll zoom out.
Just notice that the stream still says Final Fantasy time, at least on Facebook. But should have changed, and it didn't. I can make that happen now. Oh well. Yeah, I don't see anything glaring at me other than. I mean, honestly, I don't see anything glaring at me to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean I honestly think your play on turn 1 is literally play Asgard,
I think so,
go get Mjolnir, and then play Mjolnir. You maybe don't even flip to hero this turn because you can draw more cards. You'll have 6 for next turn before you flip since you're just doing kind of a setup turn.
yeah. Right.
I've got something I'm going to play on your board as well. I'm going to play this interrogation room on you because it says after you defeat a minion, exhaust it, remove a threat from a scheme. So that'll be good on you since you're doing a lot of minion killing typically.
Yeah, if it
Uh,
all goes well.
I do need this here counter. So Spider Woman, just so you know how this works,
Uh huh.
I want to put this big green token right by the card here. Let's see if I can. So when I'm Spider Woman, the way she works is every time I play an aspect card of a different aspect, I get +1 to my 3 core stats. So +1 attack, thwart, and defense, and that lasts till the end of the round, which is our turn and the villain turn.
Mm-hmm.
Spider Woman, when she builds her deck, gets to pick 2 aspects. So in this case, I have Justice and Aggression in my deck. Um, and her core 15 have all 4 aspects in them. but you have to include an equal amount. So I'm assuming there's probably 10 to 12 red, 10 to 12 yellow in the deck. I don't know, remember the starter deck off the top of my head. But that's how she works. So you can build into two aspects. So like if I play a yellow card, it's going to give me +1 to everything, and I'll use this token here to track that.
Gotcha.
Also, FYI, and you might know this, but I didn't know it the first time we played. You can make these tokens bigger by using the plus sign. So that when we put our threat tokens up here, make them a little more eligible for people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you can
All
adjust
right.
the size of anything actually if you want, including the cards if you really wanted to.
Yeah. All right. So we have no setup on the main scheme for Rhino, so I'm going to flip that over. And I think we're ready. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
How'd you get it to stand up like that?
Huh?
It's like
What?
standing up. It's like vertical.
This is?
Yeah. Now it's not. It was. It was not quite vertical. It was kind of at a slant. It was kind of cool. It's almost like you put it on display, like on a holder.
Yep. So I guess
Regardless, I think you should probably go first, just to keep the game moving
so.
better.
Let's do it this way. Let's real quick talk about, since we've never done this on stream before, just so people know,
Mm-hmm.
the ways we win the game are we beat Rhino down. So he has 28 health. Once we beat him in phase one, we'll remove. Oh god, I keep doing that. We'll remove the phase one to phase two. He'll get like 30 more health. If we beat him there, we win. If he KOs both of us, he wins. And this card here, if you want to alt on this for the stream purpose,
Mm-hmm.
Jason. So this card is his scheme. This is what Rhino is trying to do. You see in the top corner, it's 7 per player threat to win. So if he ever gets 14 tokens on this, we're going to lose. It's going to put 2 on itself every turn, and then depending on which form we're in, Rhino will either scheme or attack us. Um, so those are the two ways we can lose. We have to beat Rhino to win, and that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I'm going to start by using Jessica Drew's ability. It lets a player look at the top card of their deck, and I'll use that on you, Jason, because so you just look at the top card and then put it back. Okay, so we know it's not a Mjolnir.
Chasing down.
All right, so we will go ahead. We will flip to Spider Woman. I'm going to play a skilled investigator for free on myself. That is a 0 cost card that says after a side scheme is defeated, I can exhaust it and draw a card.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend Captain Marvel for 1, Heroic Intuition for 2, and I'm going to play a Finesse.
Lost for
This
Ness.
card, yeah, it's kind of like God of Thunder for you. It lets me exhaust it to generate a wild resource for an aspect card.
Right. Okay.
And then these are going to go to my discard because I spent them to pay for it.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go ahead. Uh, I'm going to tap that guy to generate, wrong button, to generate a wild resource for an aspect card. I'm going to play this interrogation room. You can put it wherever you want it, but I'm going to play it on you.
Okay.
And I can't play this card currently, but I did play one aspect card, so I'll get +1 to all my stats. And I will simply punch Rhino for. I'm going to remember that it's E. Been playing too much Final Fantasy. I'm going to punch him for 2, so come up here and boom, boom. He takes 2 damage. That is my turn 1.
Great success. All
Mooey
right.
mooey.
So for me, my big thing is going to be to get Asgard into play. That's going to cost me 3 to do it. I think that'll be 1. That'll be 2. That'll be 3. That gets Asgard into play. that there. Then I should go ahead and use Worthy, which is Odin Sun's action. Search your deck and discard pile for Millionaire. Add it to your hand. Shuffle. So let's go ahead and search this deck for Millionaire. And we shuffle. So now I have that theoretically in my hand, but I'm going to want to play it, which will cost 1, which would be Mean Strike, to get Millionaire out. 2 restricted, plus 1 attack and aerial. So I think that, I mean, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid turn 1. You got 2 of the cards you definitely want in play out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I want to flip to Thor and an attack or anything.
So if you do, you would punch him for 3, versus having 6 cards in your hand for next turn. And I think the 6 cards is better because, like, it's probably not going to be too bad for us. You're set up good, and like having the interrogation room is good because Thor wants to fight minions, and that will give you a little extra threat removal. So you'll be able to kind of help with this a little without actually helping with it, if that makes sense.
Right. I get it.
All right, so we will ready up. So here's my conundrum. I have this piercing strike in my hand.
I see that. Deal 3 damage.
So
Okay.
So what piercing means, which is the ability on this card, it does 3 damage and it has piercing. If the villain was to have tough on him, it would basically remove the tough and still do the 3 damage. Tough normally soaks the next like damage the villain would take.
Right.
So that's really good for villains that get tough, and Rhino does in fact get tough in a few ways in his deck, so I think I'm going to keep it.
Gotcha.
Draw 4. Okay. Solid enough hand. Not the card I wanted to see, but
For
okay.
your own reference, if
Mm-hmm.
you right click your deck, you'll see a deal option
Mm-hmm.
and then a color wheel. So whatever color you're sitting at, green in your instance, if you deal to green, it'll take the top card and send it right down into your hand. Instead of grabbing 4 cards and then moving them down into your hand, you could just do it straight to your hand. Like
Okay,
that.
cool. Awesome. I did not know that, and that's good to know.
It'll make it easier for you in the future.
Okay, so we're going to start the villain turn. Per the scheme, you can
Yep.
see it has the black arrow. It gets 1 per player, so this is going to tick up to 2.
Yep.
And then Rhino is going to activate against each of us in player order. So I was first player.
Mm-hmm.
So Rhino's going to get a boost card. He's attacking me. He's 2, potentially 5. I don't see a big reason to block. I have a heal in my hand, so I'm going to eat it. So flip that over. It has got 2 boost icons down in the bottom right corner of the card. So that is going to be 4 damage to me. It's going to put me down to 7 health.
It's good that
No,
that's out of
go
the
away.
way right now.
Oh, that's what the red X does, Jason. Now I remember. When you get the boost cards down here,
Yeah.
when you hit the X, it sends them to the discard.
Gotcha.
That's what it was. So then you were in alter ego mode, which means he's not fighting you. So he is going to scheme.
Yeah.
Get a boost card. Flip that guy over. Hey, we want to see that on a boost card and not an encounter card, so that's great.
Right.
So he's going to put 3 more here. That is out.
So it's 3 because he had the 2 symbols and then the 1 base
Because he has
stat.
what? Right.
Okay.
That's it. And then we'll both come down here and click look out and get an encounter card. And then in player order, resolve those. So I'll flip mine. Uncertain loyalties. You may flip to alter ego. Choose exhaust. Remove it from the game. So we're gonna go ahead and flip and clear that off because I don't have that stat anymore, and we will exhaust to remove this from the game.
Okay. Crowd control. Side scheme. When the scheme is in play, you cannot remove threat from the main scheme. Alright, so this basically just sits up underneath there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to clear that before we can start putting points against the main scheme.
Yes. What was the 2
So,
per player?
2 per
So it's got
player.
4.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Not horrible. Did knock you out for attacking this turn, which sucks.
Well, that's okay. I can don't have a ton of threat, but you're first. We definitely want to get rid of this. I think that is our priority. So that ends the villain turn.
Yep.
So I'll click this and you'll become first player.
Mm-hmm.
And then we figure out what's going on.
Let's see. Double the number of resources generated.
Did Matt ever get back to you? Just by the way.
So what?
Did you ever let Matt know we were streaming?
Did. I don't know if he checked it out or not.
Well, he can always watch it tomorrow.
It's true. Can. Okay, so for me, let's see here. Let's get this up and out of the way. So for me, not a whole hell of a lot I can do to boost my attack. I do think I could get this helmet on pretty easily.
It's been that power of aggression to play that Hall of Heroes for sure.
Double the number of resources this card generates while playing for. So basically, that's just telling me that this is worth 2.
2 if you're playing a red card with it.
Aggression. Okay, double this while playing. Okay, all right, that makes sense. So yeah, I could use this to pull out this Hall of Heroes, get that into play as an example. Oops, get Hall of Heroes out there. That seems like a solid choice.
Oh man, so this is kind of a conundrum, right? Like I don't like the card invulnerability. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it either. I actually took it out of the Thor deck and put the other thing that came in there. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
yeah, I don't remember exactly what came in that pack, man. That was 3 years ago. um, I'll let you figure out what you want to do first, and then I'll pitch my idea to you.
Well, I assure you, your idea will be better than anything I come up with.
So, since we agree that invulnerability is not a great card, I think you spend the 2 invulnerabilities to play the helmet,
Uh
and you
huh.
hang on to the genius for next turn, because you'll most likely have some good attack cards that the extra resource could go toward.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, boom, look at that. Great minds.
I know that I probably need to think about building the Thor deck on here that I have in real life. So, I mean, basically, I probably just want to come up here and.
Hmm.
Is it worth keeping Thor's helmet on the table, or should I just. I probably
Yeah,
need
I
to
mean that's
keep it
all.
so I can't redraw it, right?
Yeah, well, it's a if you look at it, it is a upgrade, and upgrades stay in play when you play them.
Right. Okay. Now.
So, like, if for some reason you drew a card that got made you get rid of an upgrade, and you discarded this helmet, you would immediately lose those 5 hit points.
Gotcha. Okay. So hang on to this genius. At this point, you think it's. Excuse me. I think I should probably flip to Thor and try to get this
Uh,
scenario.
if you can remove one from it, I will be able to get rid of it.
So my thwart is 1. Let's see. Okay. I'm a little fuzzy on how I actually remove things from that.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you didn't do it last game because you're playing Thor, and Thor doesn't typically thwart. So thwarting is just like attacking, but you were using your thwart stat instead of your attack stat, and instead
Hmm.
of doing damage, you were removing that much threat from a scheme.
Right. And there's nothing that can prevent me from removing that.
No. Well, kind of. So right now, the secondary has the priority symbol. That means you can't remove threat from the main scheme while this scheme is in play.
Sure.
So, like, if it didn't have that symbol, you could remove it from either one. Because it does, you can only remove it from this one currently.
Right. Yeah, so with that, then I can remove 1 from this crowd control
Okay.
if we agree that's the best route for me to take instead of attacking homie.
I think so this turn because we want that gone for next turn. Because who knows what else is going to pop out of the deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, if you remove one from that, I think it sets me up for a pretty good turn as well.
Okay. Well, let's thwart it. That's the wrong way.
You just made my turn significantly worse by going to 5.
Matt is on YouTube watching us,
Ah.
but
Hey, Matt.
it doesn't show it in Restream. I don't know, the Restream is being all funky. It's not showing me viewers, and it didn't change the name. I think it probably still says we're playing Final Fantasy, but okay.
All right.
If you
So,
if you get questions, Matt, feel free to ask.
yeah, I got the Twitch pulled up as well on my phone, so I can see it. You all done, Jason?
Yeah, that'll be it for me.
All right. So I am going to use Jessica Drew's ability to look at the top card of my deck. Okay, that doesn't do a ton for me, so we'll put that back. So I'm going to start by spending a piercing strike for 1,
Okay.
and I press the advantage for 2. And I'm going to play Spider Girl. There are no minions in play, so I don't get that. But I do get that 1 thwart.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I would flip before I played that because that is a red card, so I get +1 to my stats for that. Um, but then I'm actually going to exhaust her to thwart 1 off of this side scheme.
Okay.
So she, if you see, she has the little stars below her thwart and attack.
Mm-hmm.
That's inconsequential damage. So basically, it's assuming when these like allies come into play that they're fighting the villain to do these things, so they actually take damage based on those stars. So she will take, make that a little bigger. She will take 1 damage for doing that. And
Huh.
then I'm going to use this finesse I'm gonna exhaust it to generate a wild resource for an aspect card, and I'm gonna play Clear the Area. So that is gonna remove 2 threat from a scheme, and if it removes the last threat on that scheme, I can draw a card. So we're gonna take 2 threat off of that. I'm just gonna put this big counter over here so we can reuse it, if I can grab it. Let's put that right here.
So this gets removed from the game, right? Not in the discard.
No, it goes to the discard. It can come back out again.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. So I will get to draw 1 card because of Clear the Area, and in response to defeating the side scheme, I will use my Skilled Investigator to draw a card.
Okay.
So then I think my play is I'm going to spend the Genius I just drew. Oh, and that was a Justice card, so I'll get +1 to my stats for that. So I've played a red and a yellow now. So I spend the Genius, and I'm going to play a Containment Immunity.
Okay.
So that card is Protection. I will get a further +1 to my stats. It's going to heal me for 3. And it's going to give me a Tough status card. Which means the next time I take damage, I will not take that damage.
Right.
Unfortunately, I cannot attack this turn with my big dick 4 attack points
Right.
from the +3, but I will have 4 defense for his turn, which is not irrelevant. And that is me, man. That's my turn. So had you not thwarted that 1 off, I could not have removed the other 3 and drew 2 cards off of it.
Right.
So that worked out pretty good. Ideally, we
Pretty
wouldn't
so.
have got my obligation, and I could have just thwarted it myself, and you could have attacked, but it doesn't always work out the way we want it to, unfortunately.
Nah. Of
So
course not.
that'll be the end of the player turn. We'll ready up. And now I have to decide if I'm going to keep this Heroic Intuition or if I'm going to pitch it. It gives me +1 thwart. It costs 2. And Spider-Woman's got just some good cards in her kit, so I think we're going to pitch it. There's obviously going to be like 3 in here for some reason. And then I'm going to deal. So I drew another Skilled Investigator. I'll play that on you so that you can also draw cards when I defeat side schemes or you defeat side schemes.
Okay. Got the Yarnborn.
Oh yeah, and that hammer throw,
Oh yeah.
and that energy, and that strength. Well, all right.
We'll see what
That's
happens.
what are you gonna do about it? So this is gonna get 2 at the start of the villain turn,
Yep.
and you were first player. Rhino's attacking you. So this is where if you wanted to defend, you would. And I don't necessarily think you do here, but you would tap yourself and prevent your defense worth of damage from this attack. That said, you would be tapped going into your next turn,
Right.
which means you wouldn't be able to attack.
Right. Which is not something I want to do.
Right.
I don't believe so. So we will let it come on through. So +2, correct?
Yep, correct. So that'll be 4. Then that'll go away. He's going to attack me. I am not going to defend. So 1, plus his 2 is 3, but I am tough, so the tough will go away, and I'll take no damage.
You're one tough chick.
Super tough.
Alright.
Then we'll get in counter cards.
Stampede. When revealed, alter egos gain card surge. When revealed, hero, which I'm in, Rhino attacks you if a character is damaged. A character is stunned.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have Spider Girl. Actually, no. I'm gonna block this for you. So I'm gonna defend for you.
Okay.
So we don't want you. We definitely don't want you stunned. So we'll flip this boost card. It has no icon, so he would hit me for 2. I am 1 plus my 3 from all the aspect cards I played last turn, so I'm 4 defense. I'll take no damage. Neither of us are stunned.
Sweet.
That's that teamwork.
Yeah, but then you're not going to be able to do anything next turn.
Well, with her,
attack-wise.
let's see what I got on my card here. Stampede, when revealed. Hero, he attacks me. Okay, so I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to. I'm going to use Spider Girl to block this one. So he is attacking me. Spider Girl's going to basically just die.
Mm-hmm.
So also for 2 damage. We did shuffle this, right?
Pretty
Because
sure.
we saw the 2 stampedes back to back, and then the 2 I'm toughs back to back, which is hilarious.
Well, maybe we didn't. But...
I thought we did. Yeah. And Spider Girl is very dead.
Extra dead.
Oh my god, I keep clicking the wrong button. There we go.
The bus of struggle.
Alright, so this is going to now reset back to 0. And I will become the first player. 2, 3. Alright, I'm gonna do a play. I'm gonna preface it by saying this is not a card that ever makes it into my decks. So first thing, I'm gonna play this Skilled Investigator on you for free.
Okay.
So now you have that same card I have that we can beat a side scheme, exhaust it, and draw a free card.
Right.
I'm gonna put this card I played last turn in my discard pile. I'll spend Strength for 2. Inconspicuous for 1. Press the Advantage for 1. And I will use Finesse to give me 1 wild for a aspect card, and I am going to play Spider-Man. When I play Spider-Man from my hand, I can remove 3 per player threat from a side scheme. I didn't read that part, so I don't play him. That was probably not the play in that case. Rewind. Well, like I said, I don't play him because he costs 5, dude. That's like your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's okay. I got other stuff.
It's a lot.
So we're gonna spin Spider-Man to play an Inconspicuous.
Should change real quick.
Well, yeah. And I can remove a total of 3 threat from schemes in play. And also I will get +1 for that. So we'll just take 3 off the main. If you could click that for me.
It's down to 4.
Well, it's at least manageable. And then I'm going to use my Finesse to play this Press the Advantage. It's going to deal 2 damage to the villain. And if he was stunned or confused, I would draw a card. He is not, so just 2 damage to the villain.
Okay.
And I'm gonna keep the strength in my hand and hope that one of the next cards I draw is pheromones, because that would be handy to have.
I don't know what that is, but I'll take your word for it.
It is one of Spider Woman's core 15 cards. It's her leadership card, the blue. It costs 2, and it says stun and confuse a enemy,
Nice.
which is why Press the Advantage works so good because you play that. It lets you basically have like a free turn. Like if one of us goes Alter Ego, he would go to Scheme, but he's confused, so he doesn't. He would go to attack the other person, but he's stunned, so he doesn't. It's really good value for 2 resources.
Right.
I do have another +1 from that aggression card though. That's gonna be it for me this turn, man. That's all I got.
That's all you got. Alright, I've got a ton of resource cards. And not enough shit to spend them on, so. Let's see how to do this. How to do this. Pretty obvious I want Hammer Throw out. Basically I want to use Hammer Throw.
Oh yeah, I'd say so.
So that will take 3. Now, do I have. Remind me, do I have to spend these energies on one specific card, or does it go into a pool?
Yeah, it does not in this game. So when you spend the 2 is gone, even if you overpaid for something.
Alright, that sucks.
It does. It's very unfortunate to have all 3 double resources in your hand at one time.
Yeah, because in order to get y'all born out, I'm going to lose a resource essentially.
Well, so there's a couple things you could do here. Um, so you're playing the hammer toss first. Let's resolve that. That's definitely happening.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely doing it, but if I get y'all born out after you attack an enemy, if I spend a resource, I don't. If I spend a strength resource, I can deal 2 damage to an enemy.
Yeah, that's true. So here's my question. So remember that hammer throw is going to bounce Mjolnir back to your hand. It's
Mm-hmm.
part of the cost. If you're going to have that in your hand, you could potentially use it to pay for something, and then flip to Odin's Son and just get it back in your hand for next turn.
Well, the only thing I could use it to pay for would be Yardborn,
Yeah, born. Yeah.
which, I mean, I could get 2 extra damage on him this turn if I played this, in
You're
theory.
in a weird situation, right? So you've got to
Mm-hmm.
spend 2 of these cards to play this. You have to spend another one to play Yarborn. And then, well, actually, hold on. Yarborn says after your hero attacks an enemy, spend a fist resource. So that could be from you playing the hammer throw, or that could be from Thor tapping. So do you play the hammer throw, right? Like, let's just work through this theoretically. We know where we're at. You play that, you would bounce Mjolnir back to your hand, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then you spin the Mjolnir
In
to
theory, I
play the
lose this
Jarl,
too.
right? Then you would spin Mjolnir to play for Jarlborn,
Yeah.
and then you would just attack with Thor and discard the strength to trigger Jarlborn. And then after you've done all that, flip to Odin's Son and get Mjolnir back in your hand.
And then that's going to ensure that Rhino schemes against me, though. But we're only at 4, so it's not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, at the most he's going to put 4 on there. It's got to get to 14. It's going to put 2 automatically, so 6. The highest it could get is 10.
Right.
So we're not in danger of losing through that. Um, that's just the idea I had that might make a little more efficient, like get your turn a little more efficient than it's going to be otherwise.
Right.
For now, let's pop Mjolnir back out here where he is. I kind of wanted to show you so you can see what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah, I forget that the hammer throw is going to be a completely separate attack than it would be to use Thor.
Well, it's still an attack. It still counts as your hero attacking. So you could play Hammer Throw and trigger Jarlborn. It just says when your hero attacks an enemy, spend a fist resource. Hammer throw is an attack card, and
Right.
your hero is playing it. So, you could technically trigger Yardborn twice if you had the resources for it under that circumstance.
I didn't think about that either. That's an upgrade and not just something. So that'll be out forever,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the thing you step through is probably the best play, which will be a surprise to nobody. So if we
Well, I
spin,
mean, it takes a few games, I think, to really like. It takes a couple games to really learn the system, and then it takes a few more games to really start seeing the combos with some of these heroes.
right. So obviously we'll play those. It gives me 4 to bring hammer throw, which costs 3 out. So that's out.
And that
So that we can use hammer, or we it's not out. We can use hammer throw to exhaust Mjolnir, deal 8 damage to an enemy, and return Mjolnir to my hand. So we got that.
knocks them down to 16.
Mjolnir comes back up to my hand. Excuse me. And then wait, how were we gonna do this? We were gonna
Spin Mjolnir to play for Jarlborn.
that's right, that's right. Yeah, so we're gonna then spend him as a resource. Get Yalborn out here. Then we are going to attack with Thor, who has 2. I'm gonna trigger Yalborn with the strength card. I'm gonna go ahead
For
and
two
leave
more.
that out of the way for now. So that gives him a +2, so he's 4.
Well, it does, remember, it does separate damage. So, like, if you. Because it specifically says after your hero attacks an enemy, spend a fist resource, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So you could use that to hit a minion instead of him if we had one.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's even better because it's a separate source of damage.
Sure.
So you did a total of 12 damage to him that turn. You got him down to 12. That's actually pretty good, man. Considering you had 3 double resources in your hand.
Which then we want to flip over to Odin's son and use his ability to get Mjolnir back.
Yeah. You would still be tapped
Right.
for right now, yeah. And you just go get your hammer back. And see, like when we did our episode on this, we kept talking about how thematic this game was. Like really think about what just happened. And like
Right.
how that's super Thor, right? Like Thor chucks the hammer at Rhino, the hammer flies back, he pulls out Stormbreaker or Jarlborn, and it just beats the shit out of him, and then his hammer flies back to his hand at the end of it.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah,
That's
totally
really
makes sense.
yeah,
So
super cool stuff.
they did a good job with that design specifically. I mean, that's the store, but I would imagine all these other litany of heroes over here do similar things.
Yeah. Well, like when I played Scarlet Witch with you, her whole thing is manipulating probability. Look at all the card draw I was doing and messing with the boost icons and stuff.
Exactly.
Like she's kind of like a shell game, but it's like a shell game heavily in your favor at all times, which is cool. All right, so I think we're finished up this turn, so we will ready.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna hang on to the strength. Hey, what's up, pheromones and venom blast? Now I got a hand of gas and not enough resources.
Yeah.
Uh, That's
Oof. Oof. Okay. So hammer throw
you
again.
hammer throw plus Mjolnir plus the
God of
God of Thunder.
Thunder.
You got a lot of things you want to play in your hand this turn.
Yeah. Got some shit in there. All right.
All right. So villain, we get 2 threat on the primary, and I was first player that round, right? So he's gonna attack
Yep.
me. I'm at 10. This could be a potential 5. Um, I could block 3. I don't particularly need to exhaust, but I'd like to be able to just attack, so I'm gonna eat it.
Yum. So plus
So
one,
1, 2,
three.
3. So I'm at 7. Then he schemes on you.
Yes, he does. I mean, there ain't shit I can do for that. So he gets plus one, two, two scheme there altogether.
Okay, and then we'll get our boost cards. I don't know why I
Do,
have to make that sound effects when I do that.
do you do that in the real game too?
So I got a Melter, one of the Masters of Evil from that modular set we put in. He is 1 scheme, 3 attack. The engaged player must defend against Melter's attack with an ally they control if able. So that's going to be a problem. We're going to have to get rid of him.
Okay. And he's got 5 life.
He has 5 life, yeah.
Okay.
Should be trivial for you to murder him. More importantly, let's hope you got a minion. You're not in Thor form, so you won't draw the cards this turn. But let's hope you didn't get a minion.
Hard to keep down. Rhino heals 4 damage. If no damage was healed, he gains Surge. This card gains Surge.
He'll pop back up to 16 health.
Keep forgetting about the X's, but
All in all, not a terrible villain turn. So you will become first player.
I will. I shall.
So Matt, if you're still watching, are you following okay?
Yeah, I don't know if he is or not. According to Restream, nobody on YouTube's watching, but there are 2 people on Twitch, and one of them's you, so somebody else is watching us.
Yeah.
We're not actually playing Final Fantasy XIV. Surprise. If
Let's
you were fucking surprised if you were expecting Final Fantasy XIV right now.
right.
And then in a lot of ways, something. Apples and oranges. I was gonna say better, but who's to judge that? All
Yeah, I
right.
mean
Either
I
way.
enjoy both immensely. So
Yeah, exactly. After your hero attacks and defeats an enemy. So is a minion considered an enemy?
yes,
Remove 2 threat from the
yes.
scheme. Okay.
Also, remember that if you kill the minion, you get a token on Hall of Heroes.
Yes. In order for me to kill said minion, looks like I'm gonna need to get Mjolnir out and then throw him. Would like to get this God of Thunder into play though. That's all expensive stuff.
So, my plan this turn,
Battle
I'm gonna
Fury.
flip down, but I will have Rhino stunned and confused. So we will have a free turn of like no attack, no scheme from him. Because I'll be an alter ego. I'm assuming you will be in hero form at the end of the turn.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, unless I want to get Mjolnir back. If I do bring
Well,
Mjolnir out, throw him.
well, the thing is, once you flip to Thor, you can't flip back to Odin's son, and you can't play Hammer Throw unless you're Thor, because it's a hero action.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we'll not be able to get Mjolnir back this turn. I don't know how I kill. How do I put 5 damage down? Let's see.
So
So I do 2 base damage. And I got nothing out to give me more damage. I
not
got.
yet. So Mjolnir gives you +1,
Right.
right? So like if you played Mjolnir, you hit him for 3, use invulnerability to trigger Jarlborn, and that kills him.
I keep forgetting. I gotta put this more in my face. That even exists. Yeah, that seems. Alright, well, let's. Okay. And I can use Chase Them Down to remove 2 threat from the scheme.
And then you could potentially spend the Hammer Throw to play the Battle Fury and get another attack.
Play under maximum. After your hero attacks and defeats a minion, deal 1 damage and discard battlefield. Could. But I would be without the hammer throwing. There's, what, maybe 3 in my deck?
There are 3 in the deck, yeah.
We've seen 1. This would be 2. I got 19 cards left. It's just a bunch of damage is all.
Well, so if you play the hammer throw, it's gonna cost you 3.
Well, I mean, if I played it this turn. There's also holding it for next turn, you know?
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to weigh is like if you it's hard to say. Like hammer throws I think you definitely want to play in a turn that you can get Mjolnir back out afterwards. Um Yeah, it's really up to you. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer in this situation.
Oh, there
Um,
is.
uh,
Well,
the,
let's go with what
so
we
let's,
know.
all right. So if you do the math on it, while you are taking damage for Battle Fury,
This
you're
one.
getting, if Mjolnir's out, you're getting an extra 3 damage every turn potentially versus 8 in one go for 3. So over the course of the game, Battle Fury technically nets you more damage.
Right. Well, let's
But
go with.
Hammer throw is good in the scenario we set up because all the Masters of Evil are like 5 to 7 health, so being able to kill them and ping Rhino with the overkill is good too. Um,
Right. But regardless of all that, so we need Mjolnir out. There's gonna be no way for me to get God of Thunder out. I'm gonna have to spin God of Thunder to get Mjolnir out, which is unfortunate because it'd be nice to have God of Thunder on the field.
yeah, I was trying to look if there was a way to.
I don't
So
see.
you need the invulnerability to trigger your board. We want you to
Yeah,
play the chase them down. I have
yeah,
no threading in my hand. Let me reset this while I'm thinking about it.
yeah. No, I think we definitely want to play Chase him down. Get knock some threat down there.
Alternatively, I should be able to thwart for about 3 this turn. If you don't want to play it, like if you'd rather use it as a resource, I think we'd be okay knocking it down to 5. It'll get 2, but he won't scheme or attack this turn because of the confusing stun. So that's a viable thing if you want to use it as a resource. If that helps you.
Not really. I'd still need one more to get God of Thunder out. It would cost me Battle Fury. I think the best play is still to use it to bring Mjolnir out to give me three attack against Melter here, and
Mm-hmm.
then use my invulnerability to trigger Gallborn to do another +2 to get rid of Melter.
Dead. Okay.
That also enables me to play chase them down for 0 since I defeated a minion. We'll take 2 off the scheme. I'll also put a token. Damage counter, I guess, be fine. On Hall of Heroes. This is glory counter. Okay. And then that leaves me with. Be tapped at the moment. That leaves me with. Let's roll the dice. Let's use Hammer Throw as a resource to get Battle Fury on the playing field. Really, I mean, I should have done that way before everything, and then I can deal that 1 damage to myself, untap myself, and attack again. And
Punch
that
Rhino
puts
this
3
turn.
damage on Rhino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Did you already put that damage on him?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so that ended up being a pretty good turn, I think.
Yeah, not bad.
So you did a total of 6, 8, 8 damage, removed 2 threat from the scheme, and got some more like stuff in play. Also, keep in mind you defeated a minion. You could use this interrogation room to remove another threat from the scheme.
Oh yeah. Should definitely do that. Be silly not to.
And that, yeah, that's why we put it there. You're the minion blower upper.
Minion blower upper. Consider the
I like
minion blown
bounty,
up.
and then that gets tapped.
Mm. Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Well, I'm fresh out of shit to do. Huh.
Okay, I'm gonna start out my turn by spending strength to play for this pheromones. So that is going to stun and confuse.
Excuse me. This poor bastard doesn't know what to do.
Make them a little bigger so we can see him better. And don't forget. And then I'm going to use my finesse. So that was a leadership card. I'll get +1. I will use finesse to generate a wild resource for an aspect card. And I will spend a venom blast for 1 to play a venom blast. That's going to do 5 damage to Rhino. More importantly, that is an aggression card. I've not played one of those yet, so I will get another +1 to my stats. And then I will actually thwart for 3. And we will have managed the board, did some damage to the villain, and knocked the threat way back down all in one turn.
Yeah. Not bad.
Not a bad turn. I think I keep this combat training for the just +1 attack. Try to play it next turn. Or maybe even play it on you, honestly. That's a good play on you, just for the 4 damage swings.
Right. Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
also
that'd be
assuming
bad.
there's more than one in the deck. So,
Probably.
alright, that's it for me, so we will ready up.
And so I'm Thor, that means I get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that lightning strike. Under the 9.
Oh yeah, I think Defender of the Nine Realms would be real good this next turn. Not specifically for the threat, but just the having a minion engage you so that you get to draw the 2 cards off Thor's ability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as normal, our main scheme gets 2. Rhino is attacking you.
Excuse
You're
me.
at 14. You just tanking that?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, he hits you for 2 damage. Oh shit, I meant to flip down and I forgot to. It's fine. He is attacking. Take the damage back off of you. We messed up.
Hmm?
He was stunned.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he
So,
ain't doing shit.
yeah, he didn't do anything to you. That would have been the flip on me, because he wouldn't have got a boost card versus you. So I would take 2 damage.
What's confused? Do the next time this
It's
character.
when he
Okay.
schemes, he doesn't scheme. So that's why I was going to flip down, but I forgot to do it. And I've been
Ah.
playing this game long enough to not forget those things. To be fair, I am much more used to playing this game with the physical cards than on TTS.
Right.
But we'll get there. It's okay. And now he's still confused, so that's not the worst thing.
Sure.
And then you'll get your card, I'll get my card.
Look out. Masters of Mayhem. When revealed, each Masters of Mayhem minion attacks the hero it is engaged with. If no attacks were made this way, search the encounter deck in the discard pile for a Masters of Evil minion. Put it into play, engage with you. Shuffle the encounter deck.
God, you about to have that. You about to have that Thor turn, dude. So, my suggestion on this would be just grab Melter back out of the discard. He's the easiest of them to kill.
I hit the right buttons here.
Search. And when he engages you, you'll get to draw 2 cards.
And he just engaged me.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all these cards. Oh, why did they keep Hercules in here?
You look at that one resource card that has no other text on it right there.
Yeah, that is not in the deck that I built. Albeit,
I also got a Masters of Mayhem. So let's look at the word. Each Master of Mayhem attacks the hero it's engaged with. If no attacks were made this way, search the encounter deck and discard pile. So that
he's
means
gonna
Melter's.
attack me.
Yeah, he's gonna attack you. And I won't have to get one. So he just
Right.
hits you for whatever. He doesn't get the boost cards like normal. So he just hits you for 3.
And does that mean, does he have that residual damage thing on him? That star? What's that?
No, that's only on allies.
Okay.
Oh, that's just telling you the star is just telling you that it's he has text in his box you need to read because it says the engaged player must defend against his attack with an ally you control if able.
Okay.
So it's basically just saying reference that star in his box.
Gotcha.
He also has the boost effect there, you see, if you look at his card. So if this guy popped up as like the boost card on Rhino's attack, he doesn't have any boost symbols, but he does have an effect that happens on that attack. So like if we flipped him, you would take the damage from Rhino plus exhaust every ally you control.
Right.
The line and the word boost notes that it's from the bottom of the card and then the rest is on the top of the card.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm going to reset my counters here. And then I'm going to become the first player. So, thinking. I would like to play combat training on you, I think. I think that's just good value for the team up we have going on. So we'll spend attack team. We'll spend an interrogation room. And I'm going to play combat training on you.
Okay.
So you're another just flat +1 attack now. And then I will use finesse. So that was a red card. Let me get my +1. I'll spend my finesse to play clear the area to remove 2 threat from a scheme. I did not clear it, so I don't get to draw the card. But that was a yellow card, giving me another +1. And then, what's your plan for Melter? I can punch him for 3, I can punch Rhino for 3, or I can clear the main scheme.
So for me, I'm sitting at 4 damage, plus I could easily trigger Yalborn, which would actually hit Melder for 6 by spending Hercules here. What is lightning
So you definitely...
strike? I mean, I can kill Melter, no problem, but I can also lay down a bunch of damage this turn if I wanted to. Well, not
So,
a bunch, but a good amount.
here's the thing. Here's what we gotta think about. If I punch Melter for 3 right now, that means you could attack Rhino for 4, trigger Jarlborn to deal the 2 to Melter and kill Melter, and still be punching Rhino.
Uh-huh. That is true.
And I think I think that's probably the most efficient way to do it. Because
Yeah.
I'm either like thwarting 3, it's at 2. I'm not worried about the scheme at all right now. I could put Shrino for 3, but you can put more damage on him if I help you with Melter. The other alternative is I flip over and I heal because I am at 5.
Right.
So I'm gonna need to spend like a turn in Alter Ego. But I think our most efficient thing is I punch Melter for 3. And then I flip to Alter Ego. And I'll go ahead and let you look at the top card of your deck.
So that is get over here. Deal 1 damage to a minion. Okay.
So if you wanted to go, and just hear me out. Oh, you got Valkyrie in your hand too. God damn. If
Yeah.
you wanted to go for that big dick play this turn, you could play this Defender of the Nine Realms, which would clear the threat of all scheme and put another minion engage with you. Because it's once per phase on Thor's ability, Melter engaged you in the villain phase, you would get to draw 2 more cards.
Right.
But then there's another minion there.
Well, I'm gonna
When
take out 1 minion for sure.
you also, yeah, there's a lot of things going on your board to think about, man. You've also got the whole like Thor could punch Melter, right? And then Battle Fury. Or you don't even have to do that, right? It just says Battle Fury just says after your hero attacks and defeats a minion, it's Jarlborn an attack though. No, it's a response. So you couldn't get it off the Jarlborn trigger. But Thor like punch Melter for 4, take a damage and ready, and then Defender of the Nine Realms, and you could have Thor punch that guy to death, and then take a point of damage and ready. Like you can do a lot of things this turn. I don't know what the exact right answer is, but I know it's fucking cool, and I appreciate it.
He said, but I know it's fucking cool.
Dude, it's got me thinking about like a strat that I've never really thought about before, outside of a solo deck. So you could build like decks that Voltron each other basically. So you have
Great time for the Discord to crash. Super annoying.
yeah. You don't have any video right now either.
I know. I just got back in here.
Yeah.
Be great if that would stop happening, Discord.
I don't
Anyway,
know how much you caught of that. That sounds like a
nah.
hilarious like game to me.
What sounds like a hilarious game?
You must have missed it, dude. It must
I
have
did.
DC'd you a little earlier. So I'm saying like, what if we went into a game and it's kind of like this, but my deck is built more to just keep buffing Thor, right? Like my deck is just like make Thor super Thor and kind of manage the board a little bit, and then Thor just goes ham.
I
It's
mean,
basically what we're doing now, honestly. But
right. That's pretty
it,
close
it
to what we're doing.
yeah.
So even if I drew 2 more cards, like how would necessarily that help me?
Well, at a bare minimum, it's 2 more resources. Um, it's also potentially um another hammer throw, a lightning strike. I mean, there's a lot of things it could be.
But by the end of my turn, don't I need to knock my hand down to the right size?
Yeah, but having more cards in your hand means you have more options to do during your turn.
Right. Well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We lose? Doubt it. Let's Let's try it. So my Thor is he hits for 4. Thor for 4. Thor 4. 4 Thor for Asgard.
Yes.
Whatever the case, whatever he's for, that's also what he hits with. So we could kill Melter. It is way
Could.
more damage than we need. But I don't
It
know.
is.
Let's step through it. So we go through. We knock him out.
So he is dead.
He's donezo.
So
I
that
go.
triggers a few things.
It does. It steps up my Hall of Heroes. It removes 1 threat from the scheme.
Yeah, I got that.
It. I think that is it for killing.
You've got the Battle Fury trigger if you want to take it.
Well, yeah, I'm going to. I'm just making sure all my killing a minion triggers are satisfied, which I'm pretty sure they are. So then we're going to go ahead and Battle Fury. We'll take 1 damage. Untap Thor. Now. Now. Things that we can do. Things that we should do. Is probably hit Rhino really hard. Or use this Defender of the Nine Realms. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion in play. Engage. Remove 3 threat. So let's go ahead and play that for nothing. That's
Alright, so
fine.
I'm going to search the deck and just start from the top. Till we
Okay.
get... I think I might have clicked on... No, that's the deck. I'm unsure. This should not be in there. We've clearly already removed it from the game. No, wait. That is... Hold up. Ignore me.
Okay.
It's this one. It's like my obligation's in there twice.
A whole double obligation.
Yeah. Some
Oh,
people have that. That's not one. So we would discard this one because it's the top card. And then the next card out would be Shocker, which is that guy. That clears the main scheme.
yes, it does. All right,
And
so
you get to,
he's
and you
engaged
get
with
to
me
draw.
now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me 2 more. Nothing out of this world but mean swing. When your hero makes a basic attack, exhaust a weapon upgrade on your hero gets +3 attack. Do I have a
And
weapon
more
upgrade?
importantly, Shocker only has 3 health. So we were talking about like doing the just swing again Battle Fury. Is Battle Fury limit once per turn though?
I don't think so.
So yeah, dude, I think
I think he dies.
I think you just swing Battle Fury, and it eliminates him.
Yeah, I agree. So I think I attack. I think Shocker dies.
Shocker's not alive anymore.
I think I take 1 more damage. Ready my ass back up.
Yep, and then all your triggers happen.
Yep. So
This one is
Hall of
tapped because we used it.
Oops. Come on. Oh, for Christ's sake. So Hall of Heroes is now all the way up. I could exhaust it and remove 3. I could draw 3 more cards.
But that is an alter ego action. But you will be able to do that next turn.
Oh, alter ego action. Yeah, gotcha.
Since we got him down to 0 threat on this at the end of this turn, and he's confused, I think we both are just flipping to alter ego for more cards, and then you'll be able to haul a heroes in here. So you'll start your next turn with 9 cards basically. It's gonna be awesome. Also, also, did you want to trigger Yarborn for an extra 2 damage when you killed Shocker?
I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't have wanted to do that by getting rid of this here Hercules card. Although I could fucking play Hercules if I wanted to.
You definitely don't want to.
He's 3 attack. cost me 5. I know. He's also one resource.
Yeah.
One specific resource I need, so alright, you dealt that damage. Dealt that damage to him.
Mm.
So you're thinking I should not attack him, is what you're saying?
No, no, I think you do that.
Okay.
Uh,
I was
the
like, I think he dies this, or he goes to phase 2 if I attack him.
yeah, yeah. So I think what you do is 4, 1, 2. I think you spend 4 cards to play the Avengers Mansion because it just adds more value to your turns. And then I think you main swing and put Rhino into phase 2. So another thing, this hasn't come up before. One of the things you can do in this game, we touched on it on the podcast, but like if you have an Avengers Mansion out and I have kind of a crap hand or like one resource short, on my turn I can request you use Avengers Mansion on me. So you could also use that to let me draw cards. So Avengers Mansion is good, and you happen to have a hand that can play it this turn.
Right. Excuse me, right. We should add some more lightning resource. 1, 2, 3. Only have 3. Only be 3 damage.
You have a wild as well, which could be lightning.
Oh, yeah. That would have been fun on the minion. Regardless. Alright, so if I want to bring Avengers Mansion out, probably want to spend. I mean, it's not really gonna be worth having Lightning Fury without the resources to use it for anything. And that is not a red card, so that would only count as 1. This would pull, deal 1 damage to a minion. If you have aerial, they engage that enemy. Kinda thinking I want to save this power of aggression. Kinda thinking play those for Avengers Mansion. Mean swing on Rhino. Which would tap that and that. Deals way more than enough damage to knock him into phase 2. And I hang on to power of aggression in case I need it next turn.
So when he goes into phase 2, we search the deck and discard for a copy of Taken and Breaken. It's not the deck, so it's got to be in the
Take
discard.
and break.
This guy pops out. It's going to give us an extra encounter card, but it's only got 4 on it. Now he's at 30 health. So the real question is, do you want to spend that power of aggression as a fist resource and trigger your horn to hit him for 2 more? Because you could totally do that.
Oh, because it's wild.
Yeah. You could also, before you do that, use your Avengers Mansion and draw a card and just see what that is.
Yeah. Why the fuck not? Get that Heimdall.
Another really expensive ally.
Yeah.
They love to put those in those precons, man.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, did not include that in my deck. As neat as he is, man, 5, that's hard. That's tough to get out. But yeah,
Well, there's
that's...
him, and then there's Hercules for 6. Like, it just. And Red does have some expensive allies. Like, there's a lot of 4 and 5 and 6 cost dudes in there.
Right.
So you Yarborn him for 2. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I
And then
think it's best.
you flip down to Odin's Son as well to end your turn.
Ooh, 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 excuse me. Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's more cards, and you build a Hall of Heroes before you flip to Thor, which is the important part of that. Alright, ready up. Get rid of these, they don't matter. I'm an alter ego. And I am going to discard the self-propelled glide. Draw 6. Dude, where's my apartment? There's a card called Jessica Drew's apartment, and it lets me look at the top 5 cards of my deck and take an aspect card and put it in my hand. And I would have loved to have had it immediately. I've not seen it yet. Alright. Okay. So, per always, main scheme gets 2. Rhino would scheme against me, but he's confused. So will not. And then he'll scheme on you.
Old scheming ass.
Scheming ass, Rhino and ass.
So
So
3.
for 3, yeah. And then we get cards. That was a pretty lame-o villain turn. Lame ass Rhino ass. Alright, what we got here? We got Odin's Anger.
Lame.
This is for you.
This
Your
is
daddy's
yours.
mad. This is yours.
Daddy's
Dad's
mad.
pissed. Dad's pissed, bro.
He is. So I gotta get rid of him either by discarding Millionaire from my hand, or from play, stun, discard, or exhaust Odin's Son, remove it. Okay, alright.
I feel pretty confident that you just exhaust here and get rid of it.
Right.
That unless it's not an option, I think that's almost always the play with those because you want them gone.
I'm gonna get Radioactive Man. After he attacks you, discard 1 card at random from your hand. Well, that's gonna be. I wonder how we do that. Oh, yeah, I know how to do that. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't attack you now anyway. So did you remove this from the game? Your daddy's mad card?
Daddy Smash card. I didn't, but I will. Yeah.
And then your first player.
I am.
You is.
I'm gonna be kind of stuck tapped though. Hmm. Let's see what I can do instead. Did not get Hammer Throw, which sucks.
Not yet.
Got 4 cards left.
Bro, you get to draw 3 of them with that Hall of Heroes, though.
It's true. Can I
And you
still
get
use
another.
that even though I'm tapped?
Yeah, dude, like, so you being tapped just means you cannot use your recovery or your attack or thwart or defense.
Right.
You also have this Avengers Mansion. So you can technically just draw the rest of your deck right now.
I could.
You don't have to get your boost card. You get a card when you have to shuffle your deck, but it's when you shuffle it. So you technically wouldn't have to shuffle it yet.
Right. Well, let's see what happens, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
Into the void that goes, and then becomes tired as hell.
Exhausted.
Wow. So in
So,
theory, I wonder what this last card is.
well, I thought there's a real good chance it's a hammer through.
Really weird if it's not. Should be. So I guess let's Avengers Mansion that hoe. It is not.
Okay, maybe we spent one to pay for something earlier and just.
Really don't think we did that. One. I guess we did. There's 3 in my discard. Really don't remember spending that. That was a mistake.
Well, you know what I say? Say, pull your finger out your ass.
That's what I say. Alright.
Uh,
I got this whole mess of shit to do. Let's see. Search your deck and your discard pile for a card with the Asgard trait and add it to your hand.
I think you
Ragnarok
have them
Asgard?
all. No, it's like Asgard and Mjolnir. So you do have a play to ready Thor.
I do. With Lady Sif. She can also take care of Radioactive Man at some point. My beloved Sally's forth. Let Lady Sif be at his side. So she costs 4 to bring out. Just chase them down after you defeat. After your hero attacks and defeats an enemy, remove 2 threat for this game. What's our threat? Okay. Okay. Let's when we do some
So I think for starters, those 2 Battle Furies they're getting used to pay for something, right? 'Cause you can it's like limit 1 per player.
yeah. Unless you by chance want one for whatever
I
reason.
I don't see myself killing many minions this game.
Right.
I'm just kind of being well rounded right now.
So those become 2 resources. Um,
So
I
so
don't
hear
really
me
have.
out. Hear me out. You could play that there Defender of the Nine Realms and draw 2 more cards.
I could, except I don't have 2 cards to draw.
You just shuffle your discard. And you're gonna get that boost card no matter what before we get to the next turn. So
Yeah, but then I'm gonna have 2 homies up on me, which isn't a big deal. But at some point, I gotta start getting some life back.
yeah.
Because in order to keep doing my thing, which that all starts with getting Lady Sif out to untap myself.
And I think you need to be Thor before you play her. Oh no, Thor or Odin's son. So that works either way.
Lightning Strike's relatively useless to me at this point, as is Heimdall. Those become my 4 in theory to bring Lady Sif out. I don't really have I don't have the lightning resources to make Lightning Strike worth a damn right now. Looks like I got a whopping 1.
No, but you do have some fists to make use of Yarborn at least.
Yes, I do. Start fisting mofos. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's bring her out, ready myself up. Okay. Oi! So obviously need to be Thor. So he is a 4 attack. So if I Defender of the Nine Realms. Yeah, let's see what happens. It's getting late. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
Is Twitch still running? It's like froze out on my phone.
As far as I know, it is running. Yes. Everything looks fine, but who knows?
I know what it is. My Wi-Fi.
All right, so I'm on a
Wi-Fi.
Defender of the Nine Realms. I ended up with Whirlwind. All right.
Okay.
But first things first, I got to. What, I shuffle this?
hmm So that gives you a boost card for later in the villain turn. You
Alright,
can
so
move 3 threat, right? With 9 realms.
yeah.
Take it from the secondary.
And I also get dealt 2 cards for homie engaging with me.
hmm
He's got. These are some strong dudes.
Yeah, man. They're mid-tier minions. They're named guys.
So I'm gonna start knocking these motherfuckers back to next week. And how does one do that? When you so okay, I hit for 4 naturally. I can mean swing by exhausting Milnir. It'll have me hit for 7. That'll be enough to kill either one of those two.
Probably go for Radioactive Man on that one, because he is 7 exactly.
Right. After he attacks you, discard a hand. Discard one. Alright, so I think probably the best play is that currently. I would get rid of Radioactive Man.
And then it would start a whole host of triggers.
Yes, it will. One of those, of which is this. Back on the Hall of Heroes, so we've got Interrogation Room is viable again.
So if you could leave this 1 on the side scheme for me, it'll let me. Actually, I can draw a card if you remove it now too. So if you want to do that, that's cool.
Okay. Breaking and Taken is
All right.
satisfied.
So as a response to you doing that, I'll Skilled Investigator to draw a card. You could also do that. You have that card too.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh. Too bad Milner's exhausted. I drew Hammer Throw.
Hmm.
Oh well. There's always next turn.
And then the last trigger would be, well, there's 2 more triggers. Do you want to trigger Yawborn or Battle Fury?
Right, we'll get to that as soon as I get that to arrange properly.